All right, let's dive into a story that really bends your mind. We're talking about a story that weaves together staggering wealth, a planet killer asteroid, and, well, a piece of tech that flat out shouldn't exist. Why? Because it literally creates itself. So, this is the big question at the heart of it all. It sounds pretty simple, right? But trust me, it's a paradox that's going to take us on a journey across 66 million years to unpack. Just keep that question in the back of your mind. So our story kicks off in 2025. Picture this. A paleontologist, Dr. Chen, is at a dig site, carefully working on a T-Rex nest. And then she finds something that makes absolutely no sense. It's a crystal, but it's clearly a piece of super advanced technology, and it's been buried for 66 million years. As she puts it, it shouldn't be there. Now, to figure out how in the world that crystal got there, we actually have to jump way forward in time to the year 2080, and we need to meet the man whose entire life and death revolves around it. 6. That's it. That's how many months a guy named Liam Caldwell has left to live. Now, this is a man who built empires, who changed the world, but all he has left is 6 months. He's being kept alive by this incredibly sophisticated medical bracelet, but it's not a cure, it's really just a timer ticking down. I mean, you gotta understand, Liam's fortune is almost unimaginable. He can buy islands, private space stations, entire corporations. You name it, he can buy it. But the one thing all that money is completely powerless against? Time. He just can't buy more of it. So he makes this absolutely radical choice. Instead of throwing every last dollar at some long-shot cure, he decides to spend his entire fortune on one single final experience. A 48-hour trip into the deep past. And his destination? Well, it's as epic as it is terrifying. He wants to go back and see the last moments of the dinosaurs' world. He wants to witness the cataclysm that wiped them out and, in a way, made our own worlds possible. So, he boards the state-of-the-art temporal vessel, the Dinextix, and his journey begins. He's headed 66 million years into the past, to a planet just teeming with life. That 48-hour window is just a total whirlwind. I mean, one moment he's taking his first steps into this ancient primordial forest, and just a few hours later, he's looking up and seeing the asteroid in the sky, this new, terrible star, basically a death sentence for the entire planet. But here's the thing that really gets to him. The world itself totally transforms him. He doesn't just see dinosaurs, he feels the planet breathing around him. He actually meets one of our earliest ancestors, this tiny little mammal called Purgatorius. He walks among herds of these giant creatures, and get this, he has this incredible moment of pure trust with a mother T-Rex guarding her eggs. And as he's watching all these magnificent creatures just living their lives, this absolutely heartbreaking realization hits him. They're all living in this perfectly balanced world, and they have no idea. He's the only one there who knows their tomorrow is never, ever going to come. As that clock ticks down, the sheer beauty and wonder of the Cretaceous starts to give way to the horror of its final hours. The Dynex pulls back, way up into orbit, and from this cold, detached, horrifying vantage point, Liam and the crew just watch. They watch the asteroid hit. They see the planet burn. They witness this great, silent dying, as the world below them just turns to ash. And from up there, Liam has the power to do something. He could intervene, he could change history. But that presents him with this just impossible choice, right? Does he save this beautiful, lost world, and in doing so, erase his own, erase all of us? In the end, he pulls his hand back. He chooses not to interfere. As his guide, Dr. Ahuja, tells him, some choices are too vast for any one soul to make. He has to accept that our existence was bought at a terrible price. But Liam does make one tiny change. It's a small action that solves the mystery we started with and creates a paradox that echoes across 66 million years of history. So in his last moments on that prehistoric Earth, right before the impact, he takes off his medical bracelet, the very thing keeping him alive, and he gently places it in that same T-Rex nest he'd visited earlier, right there beside the eggs, as the mother just watches him. And bam, with that one single action, the loop is closed. Okay, think about this for a second because it's a real mind bender. Liam leaves the bracelet in the past. Millions of years later, Dr. Chen finds its core crystal. That discovery is what fuels the research that eventually creates time travel, which in turn creates the very medical bracelet that Liam wears on his journey so that he can go back in time to leave it there in the first place. What we're talking about here is a classic science fiction idea called a bootstrap paradox. It's basically an object that has no real origin. It was never made in the way we think of things. It just exists because it has always existed inside this perfect, self-contained loop. To put it as simply as possible, the technology that made his journey possible only existed because he made the journey. The object literally, truly creates itself. It's the answer to that question from the very beginning. So you've got these three key players, separated by millions of years, all connected by this one impossible object. You have Liam, who's the traveler that closes the loop. You have the T-Rex mother, who becomes its unwitting guardian. And you have Dr. Chen, the person who discovers it and kicks the whole thing off again. And here's the kicker. After he gets back, Liam goes to a museum. And there it is, sitting under glass in a display case, the crystal. The very same one he placed in a nest all those millions of years ago. The little label next to it just says, "Origin unknown," and only he knows the impossible truth behind those words. This whole journey, as you can imagine, changes everything for Liam. Having literally watched a world die, he finds a new purpose for his own. He completely restructures his massive corporation. He dedicates his last few months and his entire fortune to protecting the environment, to honoring the memory of that lost world he witnessed. You know, in the end, Liam's trip to the past gave him a profound reason to fight for the future. He saw the true cost of our existence, written in ash and bone. And it kind of leaves us with a heavy question, doesn't it? If you could see how your world began, what would you be willing to sacrifice to make sure it has a future?